Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Corner HVAC. I'm glad you joined me today. Today is video number 3 in the short series that we were doing here with a few different videos on what it takes to be a heating and air person. We've answered some questions so far about salaries. What does a heating and air tech or installer make? What are some of the different positions, some of the responsibilities that you have? And today I wanted to talk about what it's going to cost you, because everything does cost something. But before I get into that, I did want to address a couple of questions. Yes, I am wearing pink, if you had noticed in the past few videos. All October long, we wear pink uniforms. We've got pink hats, shirts, the whole 9 yards. Where I work, we support the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October every year. And so my employer donates a portion of the service calls and new installs and different stuff like that. We give to the Women's Wellness Center in our area to help support the cause. So I am a big believer in the breast cancer awareness. If you have a chance to donate or support in some way, please do so. But that's why I'm wearing pink. So a couple people have asked, and we'll see it for another week or two here until October's over. So anyways, back to the regular point of the video. I wanted to talk about what it's going to cost you. Like I said, everything does cost somebody something. And my biggest thing with any of these videos in this series is I want everybody to understand some of the things that maybe people don't know about getting into heating and air, or maybe be able to answer some of those questions that people don't know who to ask. I want to be that guy you can ask. Ask me the questions, whatever you have. But one of them is, it does cost a little bit to get into the trade. Nothing's free. In this world, there isn't anything out there. Not anything that's worth anything is free. Or no cost of some sorts. It comes down to look at the schooling. If you do choose to go to schooling, some of the colleges give a degree for different types of heating and air. There are lots and lots of trade schools out there. I think trade schools are a great option. But one thing I do tell everybody is make sure that heating and air is what you want to do. I talk to so many people out there that do various types of work. They say, oh yeah, I went to, I'm there working on the furnace, and like, oh yeah, I went to heating and air school 20 years ago. I went through all the trade schooling and did this and did that. And, they've got a medal on their shirt, and, that's great. I am a proponent for, trade schools, but make sure you're going to use it. If you don't use it, what's the point of getting it? I mean, that'd be like me going and getting like a doctorate in something. I mean, I am not a doctor. I am not smart enough to be a doctor in any fashion. I'm telling you that now. But I'm just saying, what is the point of me going and getting that degree if I don't use it? So, make sure it's what you want to do before you invest a bunch of money into it. There are different grants, depending on where you're at. There's all kinds of grants. There's scholarships and all kinds of stuff like that. Like in our area, we give out some scholarships for the company I work for. We give out scholarships for people going into the trades. I don't think it even has to be heating and air. It's just in the trades in general, because the trades are a good place to be, and the trades need people. The trades need workers. So, I'm not down in trade schools in any fashion whatsoever. I think it's a great option. But before you invest that money into it, make sure you've really thought it through, and that's what you want to do. So many people go to school, I don't care if it's even heating and air, go to college, get a degree, whatever, and then they never use it. I mean, in my personal opinion, what's the point? Further education is great, but it has to actually further you on to something. Otherwise, to me, it was a waste of time. Trade school is a great option if the trades is really what you want to do. As far as the cost of that, talk to your local school about that. It kind of depends on the area you're in, what country you're in, what state here in the U.S. or whatever. There's different costs for different types of schooling. So I'm not going to get in there and speculate about, what the different schools cost. Because for one, everything price-wise is changing here lately. The price of everything has gone up. So the schooling prices, they have changed. There's a lot of different things going on there. And it depends on where you go. If you want to go to, like I said, the community colleges, there's a lot of them that offer degrees. One of our local community colleges here, they offer a good program. There's several trade schools that specialize in the trade. and have a lot more hands-on. I think the trade schools, in my opinion, do a little bit better because a lot more of it is hands-on. Usually they can help you get all your certifications and everything like that. And a lot of times they can help lead you into a job after you get done. So, that is a really good way to start a lot of times. Because a lot of them are connected to some of the big contractors around, and they can say, hey, go talk to these people, tell them we sent you, and, get a leg up, that kind of thing. So trade schools are a great option, but they do cost you money. One of the other things is tools. We do have to have a lot of tools. Now, as far as how much you're going to need, depends on where you're going to work. There are some companies out there that provide everything. Where I used to work, actually most all the tools, unless I wanted something special, most all your basic tools and everything, they were paid for. They were provided by the company. Now, if you lost, broke them, something like that, that was your fault, you had to buy them. But most of it was provided. Where I work now, we do it most of your personal hand tools, gauges, meters, all that stuff, the basic stuff that you're using every day, that's yours. You purchase that. Where I work, they do have a program to help new techs purchase them. So, a lot of companies do offer that, or a lot of them do have a tool account where, so many dollars go into the account and you can spend it on tools, whatever. But, there's a lot of different ways to do that. And then most companies, your bigger stuff like reclaimers, vacuum pumps, leak detectors, that kind of stuff, a lot of that's provided by the company, but not everywhere. It depends on where you work. So if you are going to all these different companies to apply or to interview or to talk to them about a job, one of the most important things to ask is, what kind of tools do I need to bring with me? Most contractors in this area that I'm in, that I talk to, most of them, you provide your own tools, or at least your basics. And like I said, meters, hand tools, all that kind of stuff, which personally I prefer, because for one, they're mine. I can do whatever I want with them. They're mine. And I can pick and choose what brand I like, what style of tool in any fashion. In our industry, there is a million different tools. Go buy a screwdriver. I mean, you can buy 205 different screwdrivers when all you need is a screwdriver. But if you have something that you like, something that you prefer, hey, if you're buying it, you can pick it. It's yours. A lot of people are stuck on brands. I have my brand favorites. Yellow Jacket's always been a big one for me. Rigid and Klein and all that kind of stuff. It's all personal preference. So it's what you like, it's what you want. And if you buy it yourself, then you can pick and choose. But that is going to cost you some money. I hate to speculate exactly what it's going to cost you. With all of that, but maybe it's not a bad idea when you're going to these interviews, ask them what you need, and then you can get kind of a price list of what you're going to have. It wouldn't surprise me in any fashion that, to start out, if you don't have much, you might spend a couple $1,000s in tools. Gauges aren't cheap anymore. A lot of people are going with digital gauges, or you can stick with the analogs, a little bit cheaper, but they're still expensive anyways. So, it's all pretty high cost, and we do have a lot of specialty tools, like our meters, our gauges, our, some of the refrigeration tools. They are specific to our industry. So, we do have to have those because you can't do the job without the right tools. So, you do have to buy them, but like I said, I wouldn't put a couple $1,000s to get started. I wouldn't put that out of means by anything, because it is a good chance you're probably going to spend that much. Now, if you're at one of those companies, or you're going to one of those companies that provide a lot, hey, maybe you got a head start and you don't have to spend so much. Maybe you go to a company that has a tool account of some sorts. That's probably a good question to ask as well. If you do have to provide your own, is there any assistance programs? Or a lot of the trade schools, there's some of them that, a tool bag and your basics tools are included with part of your tuition. There's a lot of good ones like that. We've got one not too far from here that I know they give you some of the basics in a tool bag and some of your basic tools, and that's just part of your tuition. So you don't get to pick and choose what you want at that point, which I'm not a big fan of that, but it does help you get started. They're doing that in a way to try to make it a little bit easier getting into the industry. So there is some expense there. We have lots of tools. Tools do wear out. Tools break. The new tools come out, and you start doing this, you're going to want different tools. And, you see something, it's like, oh, I got to have that. Yeah, like me and tool bags. I go through, my wife makes fun of me all the time because I'm always looking for a new tool bag. My wife says I'm like a woman in purses with my tool bag. But you know what? I carry my tool bag around with me every day. All day, every day. So, it's with me. I want to make sure it's convenient. I want to make sure it's the right size, the right weight, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess I am like a woman in a purse, with my tool bags. I shop for tool bags all the time. And I'm always buying new tools. 21, 22 years in the business, I would think, oh, hell, I got all the tools that I need. I'm never gonna have to buy anything more. That's not true at all. Especially some of the stuff that I bought 20 years ago. It's getting worn out now, so it's time to replace. So, it's like I'm starting all over again. So you will always have to buy new tools. And then one of the other things, with some of the expense is education. Not just the education to get started, but our industry changes constantly. So we do have to keep up on that education. Now, not all, but most companies will usually pay for your continued education. Like where I've worked for a couple different companies. They've always paid for any of the extra stuff, as far as trainings or different seminars we go to, stuff like that, to see some of the new stuff. They've always taken care of that, but you may want to ask, if you're coming into a new company or something like that, ask them if that's paid for or if you have to pay for that, because that could be an expense you have to worry about. So, those are some of the basic expenses. And then I have the number one most important one that I have as a service tech, which it depends on what department or what type of HVAC job you have. But for me, one of my most expensive personal expenses that I have with this trade is stopping at the gas stations. Sad to admit, but we are on the road constantly. We drive from house to house or business to business in all these different places. I always need something to drink. I always need something to snack on. I always need something to eat. So gas stations or all those different places, convenience stores of whatever type. If you've got like a 7-Eleven around you, or we have lots of Casey's general stores around us. I love Casey's. So if they want to sponsor me, I'd be glad to. I spend enough money there, so maybe they can spend some with me. So that's one of the expenses as well. That one's more of a joke than anything. I get it, bad joke, but still, it is one of the expenses that we have. So, you got all that stuff to look at. I want to make sure that we are clear, open, and get everything out there that you might need to know before you get into the industry. That way you can ask the right questions and you have a good background knowledge of what you're going to need and what it's going to take to get into the industry. So if you have any questions whatsoever, hit me up in the comments. I love talking to everybody from all the different places. If you're not subscribed already, please do so. Go ahead and hit that bell icon up there so you get notifications every time a new video comes out. And please share the videos or the channel on all your social media outlets. That way we get this out as far as we can, so as many people can see it as possible. That way we can help as many people in the trade or in the industry as we can. So anything at all, just let me know. Otherwise, thank you and God bless.